My name is Sean Taylor, but everybody calls me Slim. I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina, but I claim Orangeburg as home. Growing up in Orangeburg, I'll say for me, I grew up like unapologetically black and just like it was a tight-knit community, so that's how I grew up. We have a rich history, so we got a lot of culture in the city, but a lot of people don't know that. I like to call Orangeburg like a melting pot because we got two of the biggest, and most historic HBCUs in the town. So it's a lot of culture. We got the craziest lingo. We got a lot of style and everything. So it's a bunch of different things in the city. I love looking at entrepreneurship. I study all those people and like Jay-Z and like all these people, like the way they move. In middle school, I started doing like graffiti and art because I can draw and I can do all of that. So I started doing people's names in graffiti and like, hustling that and charging like $5 per name or something like that. I used to do couples' names and stuff like that. Then I started doing music, so I had a mixtape I used to pass around the hallways in high school, and I sold the mixtape. And then, like my 11th grade year of high school at OW, I started developing the brand and everything. So I used to do like pin back buttons, and so I used to do like different patterns on the buttons and everything like that. So like that's when that really started. So I've been at it for a while. Like it's been about 7 years since I started doing the Bird shirts. I had just started my clothing line, and I was like going through rebranding. I was fresh out of high school, probably like my freshman year at Coastal Carolina, and I was just like, man, I kind of miss home, and I wanted to, do something to give pride back to the city. So I don't know, I was just scribbling one day, and I was watching a lot of Nipsey Hussle stuff, so like he had the Crenshaw thing, and so like initially that's where I got the idea from. So I just started making designs and then came up with that script, and it's been running ever since. My parents inspired me first because I saw them involved in the community and like starting businesses, and like my pops used to draw and do photography, and my mom is creative too. She has a business marketing degree and all that type of stuff. So initially it was them, and then like as I got older, kind of just found my own lane and like started hanging out with my friends. So just a lot of my friends, and that's really it. I find motivation and inspiration through everybody around me. A lot of my friends are creatives. Like that's mostly my friends are creatives too. So we try to keep each other motivated, and just real life, man, like real life situations. I done been through a lot. A lot of us, me and my friends, have been through a lot. So I draw from that. I listen to a lot of motivational music, Nipsey Hussle, Dom Kennedy, Larry June, stuff like that, but mostly just everything around me, man. I take in life and I use that as motivation every day. Music is my first love, man. So I did music for a long time, just being a musician and just like growing up around music. My parents played a lot of like R&B and jazz and soul and funk until I was like, we didn't listen to a lot of hip hop. I had to go sneak and listen to that. So it was like, I used to borrow my cousin's CDs and everything. So like for me, music is like deeply rooted. It's a spiritual thing, for real. Like listening to music, it'll put you in a mind state. It can make you happy or sad. It can do a lot of things, and like so I like to listen to a lot of smooth stuff, and I like to listen to a lot of motivational, like get money type of stuff. And that just my parents, that's all they did was play music, and my aunties and uncles, we dance and put records on and do all of that type of stuff. So like growing up around that, like that was what I was around all the time. So I carried that with me to the day. I'm still like that. I'm always putting my friends on the music and everything, because I think it's a connection thing. Like when you can bond over music, you can commune over music, you can hustle to music, you can do anything to music, like, and that's what it is for me. It's just deep. So Sabal Palm Creative Agency is a media agency. We specialize in photography, videography, and creative direction, and so I'm trying to build that into a large like firm, like a branding agency. The Sabal palmetto is the state tree, and so I just chose a name because it sounds classic, it sounds clean, and it represents like longevity and just like being able to withstand like the test of time. Because if like a fun fact, they use a lot of the palmetto trees like in the Civil War to make forts and like just, do all type of stuff. You can eat the middle of the palmetto tree. So it's really just about like just utility and just like longevity is like what it really represents. So Welcome to the Berg is a docu-series just exploring Orangeburg and like showcasing what it's like to live in Orangeburg, because a lot of people, we catch a lot of flack. It's a stigma around being from Orangeburg and living in Orangeburg. So I just wanted to show people what it's really like in Orangeburg. There's just a lot of talent, a lot of culture, a lot of love. Like, that's what I wanted to show to people. So that's the reason why I came up with it. I've been using social media kind of like, you know, to connect with people in different places in South Carolina, like just going from place to place, like traveling, connecting with people. And, you know, all it takes is just like a reach out on social media, stuff like that, you know. But it's a tool, you know, and I think a lot of people, we got to realize that it's a tool instead of like, you know, always like, you know, sharing our thoughts and like stuff like that. But you can utilize it as a tool to like reach your audience, you know, grow your audience. So that's what I do. I love photography, man. Like, I just love, you know, snapping pictures. I'd be, you know, sitting around the house or wherever I'm at or just anywhere, just thinking of a picture. That's all I do. I always like taking pictures since a kid, man. Like, my parents would just buy us disposable cameras, stuff like that. I remember having disposable cameras like all through middle school and elementary school and like all of that, like since a kid. And so my senior year of high school, 2012, I bought my first camera, a little Nikon camera. I can't even remember which one it was, but it was a Nikon camera. And I never looked back. It's always sacrifices being made when you doing business. Long nights, bruh, no sleep, missing out on fun, missing out on friendships and relationships and bonds. And, you know, sometimes, unfortunately, letting things fall to the wayside with certain people in your life, or like, you know, just because you got to be busy and like it's a lot that you got to do, and sometimes people won't understand that. So, you know, sometimes having to sacrifice friendships and just you know, work. The biggest piece of advice I give to anybody, you know, that's creatives like us or trying to follow in, you know, similar footsteps is don't care what anybody says about you, thinks about you, anything like that, man. No matter what it is, keep going, stay on your path. Don't look left, don't look right, look straight, and just keep going. What's next? Working on a lot of merch, trying to, you know, drop some merch for the summer. Just expanding, building relationships with other brands and artists and, you know, creators around South Carolina. That's my biggest goal right now.
Is there a certain quote that stick out to you that you have etched in your brain?
Man, I listen to so much rap. That's a hard, like, I could pull out so many quotes. What's one that I'm trying to think of a good one? Answer the phone when a real nigga call. That's what Don be saying. That's a quote right there. Answer the phone when a real nigga call, bro. That's just like, to me, that just mean like, bro, when it's time for some real shit, be about that real shit. That's what that means for me. So that's one. Yeah, I want to be remembered as somebody that was just good to other people. Mostly, like, just being good to other people is so important, man. That's a big part of, I think, should be a part of everybody's legacy. Being good to other people, being good to your family, being good to your friends, and just like each one teach one, man. Putting, you know, people that's around you, your family, your youngsters, your youngins, everybody, like putting them on game and like, you know, teaching them the way. Like that's what I want my legacy to be. It's just like help each other out and be good to each other.